Hey there, and welcome to That's Audacious, where we share entrepreneurial stories from amazing leaders to inspire and motivate you to be bold, brave, and audacious. I'm your host, Lauren Clemett, the brand navigator, here to share stories that will make you say, well, that's audacious. Welcome to the podcast. Today we have the fabulous Angela De Souza with us. She's the founder and CEO of the Women's Business Club, and she is on a mission to empower women to succeed in business. Welcome, Angela. It's beautiful to have you here on the podcast. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself and where you've come from and what you're doing?
Hi, Lauren. Thanks so much for having me on your podcast. Yes, I started Women's Business Club back in 2013. With absolutely no intention of building a global brand at all. But really my passion just started about connecting women. I didn't like networking. I hated networking. And I wanted to do it in a way that I would love it and benefit from it. And so I thought of all the things that I hated, and I built something around the things that I wanted to see in networking, in particular for women. Women do business differently. They network differently. And so I do believe there will always be space for mixed networking and women only and men only networking. I don't think that's going to go away. It's not an equality problem. We just do things differently. Anyway, so it started from that place of really my passion with what happens when women come together in person. Now, I know we do a lot online, and I think it's so much value in what we can achieve online, but I don't believe you can ever replace what happens, that magic that happens when women come together in person and connect in person. So that's my core passion. But out of that, Women's Business Club grew. We grew into a franchise. We grew into a networking company. We grew into a training company. And then we ended our very first year, 2013, with a combined lunch where all the clubs came together. And one of the things that we did at this lunch was had awards. My intention was just entertainment. It was like, what can we do for a bit of fun? And I really didn't take it seriously then. We had tongue-in-cheek awards. We had like the Loch Ness Award for the member who paid her fees and we never saw her. You know, we had the Mother Hubbard Award. This one woman had 6 children. And we had the Compulsive Blogger Award for this lady who literally blogged after every event, everything she blogged. She was brilliant. But it was just intended to be a little of light entertainment. However, after the awards, the next day and the following weeks, I saw these stories pop up because we did have some serious ones. We had Businesswoman of the Year, Business Mum of the Year. But regardless, whatever the award was, I saw it pop up in the newspaper, local news, on the radio. And I realized something, especially when the winner of Businesswoman of the Year said to me, this has given me the courage to keep going. And I was like, oh my goodness, it wasn't entertainment anymore. I realized it was much more serious than that. It was powerful, and it really, for some women who may never have known that they were doing a good job, they got acknowledged, they got celebrated. For women in companies, sometimes, you know, the only sign that you might be doing well is maybe a promotion or a pat on the back, but an award will really make you stand out in your company. And that's when I realized this was something that was powerful. And also, I had since learned the value, the marketing and PR value of awards is phenomenal. I've never had anything. Oh, sorry, I just got into awards straight away. I didn't even let you answer the question.
I love it. I was going to ask you what got into awards, and it's just I love the fact that you stumbled upon something as an idea. Hey, let's just do something a little bit different. And it's had such a positive impact on those women. You mentioned at the start, Angela, you know, that women network differently. We connect differently to men. I often get asked, well, why do we have women's awards? You know, we don't have men's awards. What do you think is the reason why or the importance of recognizing women separately with awards?
I think that there's so many reasons. We do business differently. There is a science behind it, which I can't repeat. I need to really write it down and memorize it. There really is a chemical thing scientifically that happens when women come together. It's back from early in the days when we, you know, men were out hunting and we were together nurturing, blah, 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 all of that, which I'm not even going to dare try repeat. And that, I think, is important. I really do need to memorize it so I can share it more effectively. But also, I think women have different challenges. We have different level of confidence. Now, there's a range of confidence both in men and women. You get less confident men and very confident men, likewise less confident and more confident women, but it's different. I also think there's the history. It's only recently that women have started having careers, most women. I mean, back in the day, there was the odd extraordinary woman who became a doctor or, cured polio, but that wasn't the norm. That was very rare. And now most women have a career or a business or something going on. And it's relatively new. And so we do need a little bit of encouragement. We do need a bit of acknowledgement that we are doing a good job. Men have always done it. That it's always been a normal part of life. But for us, it is relatively new. Our moms or our grandparents or our great-grandparents potentially wouldn't be able to encourage us so much in business or career. There's a bunch of other reasons, but I also think it's just nice. It's just fun. Women come together celebrating each other. It's just a lovely thing to do. I realized that mostly the first year of lockdown, the first year of COVID, we had to cancel everything because we were only in person at the time. All of our events, conferences, awards, the whole thing was always in person. And so we just had to, like the rest of the world, shut everything down and figure out what we were going to do. And so we were in that position. And about 6 weeks before the end of the year, which is when we would usually have our awards, I thought, why don't we just try this online? Let me just put it out there and see what people think. The response was so positive. It was overwhelming. And having the awards, celebrating together was just the most positive thing we could have done in such a difficult time. And then I realized, wait a minute, we need to do this online as well because we can reach so many more women. That was the first time we were able to invite women from anywhere in the world, whereas before, because we were in person, we could only invite people, in the UK. And so that's when our virtual global awards began, again, just out of necessity. It was either that or end the year down in the dumps, depressed, because it was an awful year. And so
silver lining of COVID. There's been so many silver linings, haven't there? And this one, that connection, Rod, is phenomenal. You're so right, Angela, that the societal shift that's occurred. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, if you think about it, that women couldn't get their own bank account. They had to have their husband open a bank account for them, or they couldn't, as you say, I think my mother could be a florist, a teacher, or a nurse. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now we can choose whatever career path we want and own companies and leave home before we're married, all those sorts of things. So there's been a big societal shift, but there's still a gap, isn't there? There's still a gender pay gap. There's women who are more likely to be homeless. There's issues with superannuation savings. There's all the stuff still there. So the vital importance of recognizing women is probably really down to us, isn't it? To make sure we celebrate success and we raise each other up. What are some of the, I talk to a lot of women about awards, and I know some of the barriers that they explain to me, this is why I'm not keen to enter and so on. But what are the major challenges or barriers that you've come across that stop women from entering awards?
I think the biggest one that I come across is they don't want to enter themselves. And I'm self-nominate. That is the biggest challenge to get that mindset to change, to shift about self-nomination. Now, what I say to women in those situations, well, I'd like to say, you deserve it. Why don't you value yourself? I don't say that. I'd like to say that. But I try and make a more logical business case. And I say, well, you know what? Do it for your business. Do it for your brand then, because it's really good marketing and PR. And it's really good. You will stand out above your competitors as an award-winning business. And so that's the case I usually make. But what I really want to say is, you go, girl. You deserve this. Put yourself forward. But that won't convince anyone, even though it's true. So that's the biggest drawback. The other complaint or drawback I see sometimes is cost. They're like, why should I pay for the event? It's for our awards. Now, not all awards are the same, but our awards, it's free to nominate or enter. At that stage, it's free. And you can, even if you just do the free level, you still get a ton of marketing and PR value. Some awards you pay at entry stage, which I don't have a problem with it. I think it's absolutely fine because it's a business and they're providing a service. In terms of the event stage, I don't think there's an award on the planet that doesn't charge for the event, because events cost a lot of money to put on. People don't realize it. Even a virtual event, there's a lot of marketing, there's tech team, there's a camera crew we have to pay. It costs money. And so, an awards business, it's a business, and people do need to understand that there will be fees associated. The third, and I'll stop at 3 because there's so many. The third barrier is there's a lot of scams out there. Daily in my inbox, I'm nominated for something, but I have to pay so many thousands to get in the publication or get the trophy or accept the award. And I think it's just a bot that sends out these messages, and they hope that some sucker will fall for them and spend thousands of pounds because they are an award winner. And so there is a lot of that as well, not run by legitimate award companies. And like I say, I get them daily. Sometimes 2 or 3 a day, either nominated for an award or I've been featured in the publication as the cover story, And I think that puts people off because it's hard to tell the difference between legitimate award businesses and some bot somewhere just spitting out millions of emails to try and get some money from people.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be very wary, don't you? And I think also it helps to have a strategy, doesn't it? And decide what you want an award for. And then when these scams come along, it just doesn't make any sense because it's not aligning with your value and your mission. I love the fact that you talked about self-worth and valuing yourself enough to get yourself into an award, or at least consider the fact that what you're doing is worthy of an award. What have you seen occur with some of the women? I don't know if you've got a couple of stories, maybe, Angela, of the women who have come into the awards environment. They've entered the Business Women Award, and they've either been a nominee or a finalist or a winner. What has been the transformation that you've seen in terms of them valuing themselves when they have that tangible outcome from being part of the awards?
It's so beautiful. That's why I keep going, even when it gets tough. It's just those stories of transformation, of acknowledgement, of being recognized. I only chatted to a lady yesterday. She works for a big company. She's senior in her company, and she was runner-up in one of the awards. And all she could do on the call yesterday was thank me and say, this has just been a game changer. It's just really helped me realize that, my colleagues, because they pushed her to do it. My colleagues value me, and their company social media sharing it, and she's getting that acknowledgement as well. And so for her, working in a company, it's really helped her feel valued. I think that's the key thing I took away from that call, was that she was noticed. Her work was noticed. Her words, and I might misquote her, so it's not a direct quote, but she said something along the lines of, I've always just put my head down and got on with it. And it's really nice to know that work's been recognized. It was something along those lines. And I thought, wow, it's so true. Women do tend to just put their head down, and they just want to work hard and get on with it. And they forget to celebrate themselves. And to be honest, I'm the same. I found for a long time I wouldn't enter awards. I'm like, it's not real. It's cheating. Somebody has to nominate me because they see me. And that does happen. And that's wonderful when that happens. But also, you do have to put yourself forward. You do have to believe in yourself. And so then I started saying, well, first of all, being selective, like you said, which awards if I win, I will be proud to be aligned with that category. That's really important. And which award ceremonies do I want to be aligned with? Because some award ceremonies, it's wow, and others are just like I mentioned previously, I won't go into it. They're just bogus. And so even my own story, just the process for me of entering an award, even just the process, has helped me up my game as a businesswoman, because you have to think about your submission. You've got to think about what you're going to say. You're going to think about what makes you stand out. Other stories come from smaller businesses, and because we are global, stories from other countries have really touched my heart. Countries where, for example, we have our top 10 voices. It's not our December award. It's a different competition, but you can win one of the top 10 voices. And if you get a place, you go on our podcast and into our magazine. And the diversity and the entries there, it was so hard to choose. Luckily, I didn't have to choose. My team did the judging. But this one lady from a dusty, and I literally mean dusty little African village where English is barely spoken, so we had to get a translator. This lady, for a lot of these ladies in Kenya, in rural Kenya, women empowerment is life-saving. It can save a family. You know, women there suffer domestic violence, they suffer abuse, and they're not allowed money, and so they're stuck. But if they can make their own money, then they can get out of that abusive situation. They can send their children to school. They can feed their children. I mean, talk about female empowerment. It's just so different to what we, you know, in some more privileged countries experience. Anyway, her story. She won the top 10 voices, and she went on the cover of a magazine, and, you know, she went on a podcast, something that women in those situations couldn't dream of, you know, and it was such a privilege for us to be able to make that possible for her. So she's gone from that real abusive situation all the way through to running a laundry for the biggest hotels in Kenya. Amazing story. And there are so many of those stories out there. And one of my passions is to make sure that they also get to enter awards or competitions, that they also get acknowledged, that we really are diverse. It's not just a particular type of woman that shows up on the winners. And so it does sometimes make it difficult to, you know, to get her onto the podcast and to interview her and to get a translator and to get a camera crew. You know, that was a challenge, but it was so worth it.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. You are listening to the That's Audacious podcast with the fabulous Angela De Souza from the Women's Business Club, and we're talking all about the awards. If you want to hear more podcast episodes like this, just tune in to our channel. The That's Audacious podcast is on all your favourite listening stations. Angela, one of the things we talk about a lot with awards, not just the impact that they have and the importance for women to participate and grow from being part of them, is that how vital it is to leverage them. And I know with the Women's Business Awards, you do it so well. At every step of the journey, you have graphics, you have press releases, you have content, you have, you know, examples, you share stuff online, you do all sorts of stuff to really assist anyone who enters the awards, not just to enter and then wait and see what happens, to start leveraging it in terms of getting, you know, that credibility and that visibility from the minute that they submit their awards. But what are some of the other tangible benefits or things that women could be doing with awards to help them grow a profile?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is get on social media straight away. It will re-engage your audience. So many times we struggle to get those trending posts, but all the time, hands down, I almost guarantee if you announce I've been nominated for an award and you put a nice picture of yourself with our formatted graphics, you will get your audience engaged again. You will get those people to congratulate you. There's nothing nicer than an announcement at any stage. And that's another reason why we do voting on ours. It's not, you can't win on votes. Our awards are judged by our judges, but we still do the voting round for that reason, for the engagement, for getting your audience engaged. And for me, that's really powerful. And then you mustn't just pop a post on there and get the engagement and leave it. What I would do is I would directly message all those people or reply to them or whatever it is and thank them, and maybe pick up a conversation. If there's somebody you've been wanting to connect with or somebody that you've lost touch with or potential client, you can, if you just had awards, if that's your entire marketing strategy, you could still build your business.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great door opener, isn't it? It's a great conversation starter. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm a bit cheeky as well. And some people don't like this, so don't listen if you're one of those people. But I even say, if you want to get on someone's radar, if they're an exceptional businesswoman, and we even have a Man of the Year award in the Women's Business Awards, I can talk about that later if you want. But you know, if they're doing a good job, now I'm not saying just nominate anyone, even if they're doing a bad job, but if you want to get on someone's radar, a potential client or somebody that you just want to connect with, and they're doing a good job, you nominate them for an award. Make sure you don't do it anonymously, because how they're going to know it was you. And they will get in touch, and I said, that's amazing, thank you. And the conversation has begun. It's a great door opener.
Yeah, I love that. It's a little bit like leaving a LinkedIn review of somebody, isn't it? It's just a nice give back to say how awesome that person is and how you've seen them. I've noticed you, and I think you're doing an amazing job. What a fabulous thing. Go nominate somebody today for an award. What a great message. So, Angela, what do you think makes your program, the Women's Biz Awards, what do you think makes them so different from other, because there's lots of awards out there. What's your particular, I mean, there's lots of different angles, but what do you think makes the Women's Biz Club Awards so different?
I'm not sure if they are, to be honest. And I say that because I don't really know much about many other awards because there are so many out there. I think if you want to be a part of our community, if you like what we stand for and our values and our mission and that, and you like what we're doing and you want to be associated with the way we do business, then that would be a good fit for you. And I think that goes for any awards that you're looking at. First check out the company hosting them. Do you want to be associated and aligned with them? We do a lot that's the same as everyone else. There's a nomination process. We provide graphics. There's a voting round. There's a judging round, and there's an awards event. But I think it's a case of really looking at who the other nominees are, what's the standard of nominees. We have a really high standard of entries. I'm very proud of that. We have excellent diversity. As I said, we work hard at diversity. If we're going to call ourselves a global awards, we need to make sure that we are picking the best in the world, but there are entries from across the world. And so I think that may be something that makes us different. I haven't seen any awards as diverse as ours, where women are celebrated from dusty villages in Africa all the way through to global conglomerate, CEOs of global conglomerates, and anyone can win. Anyone can win. There's no favoritism. They are independently judged. And I think, I don't know, again, I can't say for other awards, but we really do build the community from nomination all the way through to the event and post-event. We will keep in touch. We will ask you what support you need in your business. We'll invite you to membership if you want. If you don't want, we'll still keep in touch. We'll invite you to events if you'd like to attend in-person or virtual events. And so for us, it's not just an annual event. It's a community that we're building. And that's, again, another really important part of the way we do business and awards, is that we want to build these relationships. We want to connect people with each other and make sure that they are building a relationship with each other, not just dipping in, getting an award and dipping out and carrying on with your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where the power is. That's where you're going to grow your business. You've got your origin story. We met at the awards, or we met online because of the awards. That's your origin story. That's your meet cute. You know what I mean? And that's really important. So potentially those are a few things that would make us stand out.
Yeah, I love the fact that they're free to enter and they're global. So that's two big ticks on a lot of people's lists. There's also a variety of awards that you handle. You've got an authors awards as well. You've got the top 10 list. What are the different categories that people can go for, and when do they open, when do they close, and how can people find out more about them?
Oh, now you're testing me. I'm going to have to open my spreadsheet.
Because it's a very big awards event that comes up at the end of the year in December, and it'll be globally virtual as well as live. So that's exciting. But give us the download.
Okay, I'll tell you, these are the key ones. Next month, 17th of February, we have our Show Up and Shine challenge. So that's open for entries now. That's a free challenge. And I highly recommend it for anybody wanting to work on their visibility, including awards. Awards is a big part of the Show Up and Shine challenge. So this is a 5-day challenge. Every day I give you some top tips to work on your visibility, completely free to enter. If you want to attend optional extra events, there's a small fee. But this is, I would recommend starting your year with this, because then you could plan out your awards or the other visibility recommendations that we make. So that's Show Up and Shine challenge. If you want to find that, the quickest way to find that is bit.ly, so bit.ly/show-up-shine. So Show Up and Shine challenge. Then we jump ahead to June. We have our top 10 voices competition. And that is basically recollecting stories. We want to hear voices from around the world. What have you done in business? How have you made a difference? And we have a whole lot of judges who will choose the top 10, and we get hundreds of entries into this. if you win, so this is a competition, if you win, you get a prize package that gives you a feature on our podcast. So it's exclusive. You can't get it on our podcast any other way, except for paying a very large fee, because we don't want people on our podcast except through this. You get into our Women's Business magazine, which goes to print every October, plus it's available year-round digitally, and you get social media features. So it's a massive visibility package. That's, again, all of these are open all year round. You can enter anytime, but the competition announcement is in June, and that's womensbusiness.club/top 10, the number 10 -voices. And then we jump ahead to our Amplify Your Authorship competition in November. This is specifically for authors. You've written something, you've either published, you're not published, it doesn't matter. If you consider yourself an author of any kind, you can enter this competition, and again there's a prize. So you win a book promotion prize package, which I can't remember the details offhand, but it's worth around £3,500, and we get behind you and we really promote the winners' books. But again, all of these things have value every step of the way. There's badges, press releases, you name it. And again, that's a bit.ly link, Wombiz, so WOMBIZ_author. And then last but not least, the big one is our annual virtual global award ceremony in December. All of these are open all year round. So for the award ceremony, you can enter or nominate at womensbusiness.club/awards. I can summarize all these links for you if that helps, and you can distribute
we'll
them.
definitely have links at the end of this podcast. So if you're listening and you want to know those links, please go to the blog and they'll be there for you. So that's awesome.
And so we've got something dotted throughout the year. It's open all year round, every year. And all of them are just there to support you, to get your voice out there. Some are competitions, some are awards, all of them have a prize. And it's just to help you with your visibility and sharing your story.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it, Angela. Angela, it's been so impressive to have you on the podcast. I've loved your stories, your insight, your passion. Is there anything that you would like to leave listeners with today to inspire them to really consider awards as part of their strategy if they want to make a bigger impact?
I think if you've never entered an award, you really should try. Ours is a very safe to try, very easy process. We do have step-by-steps for you to help you maximize it. We have so many different articles and posts, everything along the way to help you maximize it. So we kind of drip feed the information to you. If you've never tried, honestly, even the process of the entry process alone will help you be better at your business or better at pitching. I would recommend obviously going through the whole process. And then if you have entered awards, I wouldn't say told off, but I felt like I was being a mommy telling people off at my talk at the awards, and I didn't intend to. But I did say we had over 500 entries for the Author of the Year award, and the Speaker of the Year award. And I said to the ladies, it was very hard to choose a winner, not because the entries were so high, but because we couldn't find any video on you. So if you want to be a Speaker of the Year, make sure we can find video. Make sure you submit video. A speaker they need to have video. In this day and age, you have to have video. And so I felt a little bit like a mommy telling her kids off, but because I want to empower women, I want to have excellent speakers to choose from. And the Speaker of the Year, she deserved to win. Absolutely. I'm not diminishing her win, but I wonder how many other great speakers there were who had entered, but we didn't know because we couldn't see any video of them. So I think if you're considering entering an award, or you are an existing award, you guru, you've done it many times before, my question to you would be, if I search for you online, what will I find?
Yeah, it's all very important to win an award. It's no good if it's just going to gather dust on the shelf. You need to absolutely leverage it. So I love it. Thank you so much, Angela. Words of wisdom. Such a pleasure to have you on the podcast. And if you want to know more about Angela and the Women's Business Club and all the awards and all the recognition that they have and the amazing support programs, please follow Angela. All the links will be below this episode, and go and find out more for yourself. Thank you, Angela. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for listening to the That's Audacious podcast. Remember, there's no place for modesty in business, and you do deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. For more episodes, please subscribe to the podcast on your favourite channel or follow us online. The links are in the description below.